Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Any Topic Tango. I'm your host, Joe, and today's topic, life with a disability. Well, there certainly is a lot to say about that subject. There's a lot of things in my life that are very complex because of it. Um, so where do I begin? Let's see. Growing up, shit got real. Like it was a battle for me through school and through all this other shit in my life because of it. So basically, growing up, obviously I was a kid and people treated me as such. Um, but the thing was, I was having more, I feel like they were more adult conversations than a lot of my classmates. Because when you talk about life with a disability, especially when it comes to the education system, especially when it comes to perfecting your learning, um, the thing is that when you're having these conversations, it really um the conversation's just different, let me say. Like, most kids were talking about, when they were like, grade 6, grade 5, most kids were talking about whatever TV show they watched or whatever stuff like that with their friends, and of course I did the same. But having the guidance of a lot of people around in my life that normally wouldn't be there for a lot of other kids. So a good example is an educational assistant, which if I don't know how it works for any other countries or whatever, but here in Canada we have educational assistants, and they usually tend to um, help kids with any kind of disability, whether it be learning disabilities, whether it be eyesight disabilities, whether it be ADHD or anything like that. Like they help, and they help facilitate within a classroom. So that being said, growing up, I had a lot of people in my life that were coming and going because of this. A lot of the people that I grew up having as my educational assistants, I still know today, and I still actively say hi or actively talk to them. Um, and to be honest, like I'm really thankful for these people because they helped shape my life to be what it is today. They gave me the ability to speak up and have courage and know how to self advocate for the future, right? So, yeah, so I just want to say if anybody is out there watching that used to work with me in school, thank you very much for that because your help helped me basically get through life, right? And I'm not just thanking like the educational assistants because they were very wonderful, but I'm also thinking like the teachers in my school were absolutely wonderful as well. The biggest thing was the nice thing about a small school, like my school has even actively, I think right now, like less than 200 people in it. So it's a very small school. But when it comes to the the educators and the educational assistants, the janitors and the principal, the vice principal, and all the other administration within the school, um, you know a lot about the people that you're teaching. You know a lot about the people you're taking care of because we have that small town mentality. And basically, what that did for me was it allowed people to understand me better when it came to learning. So that's why I think like it's very important. That's why I think education is very important for that fact because having the right help, having the right hand really can make a difference in your life and really can set you up for a better future. Now, the only things they didn't teach me that I learned from my friends was the wild and crazy crap that I do. That's just that, that shit just comes from somewhere else. But when it comes to growing up with a disability, yeah, no, the school really made the difference. And I'm thankful to my school for that because they helped set me up for the man I am today. Um, so that's a little bit of what it was like growing up within the education system. Now I'm going to talk more about like my friends growing up. Um, in our school, I didn't feel like I really had a bullying issue. Like I know a lot of larger schools, a lot of disabled people can feel intimidated by bullying and all of this other fucking horse fuckery that goes around. But at my school, I never really had that. I had really good friends growing up. You know, friends I wouldn't trade for the world. Unfortunately, I don't talk to many of them anymore because you basically just split off. And when you're in a small town, you either stay or you leave. So basically, everybody in my class, they all moved away, and I was the one. I decided I would stay here and get a job. Um, so yeah, so my friend life was really good. Um, I was basically treated like I was normal. I mean, half my friends sometimes forgot I was disabled until we started playing split screen Halo when my head was right in front of the fucking TV. And they were like, you know, go get your fucking head out of the way. And I'm like, oh, I can't fucking see now. Well, that happens. But anyways, then my high school years came. So high school was basically the same. Now, there is one issue that I had in high school that I don't think I've ever really talked to many people about it. But again, this is where growing up and having these EAs, having these teachers, and having everyone on your side kind of really helped. And the thing was automotive shop. So I wanted to go in to do automotive shop, but the school was very hesitant on doing it because they felt that it was a safety concern for me. They felt that my safety was in jeopardy if I did this auto shop. So we got into this big argument about it, and I was very upset. And at the end of the day, I basically said, well, if you don't want to do it, you're going to get in trouble because in our laws in Ontario, and speaking specifically Ontario, Canada, I'm not sure how that would stem in other provinces or other jurisdictions, but in Ontario, there's 14 prohibited grounds for discrimination, and disability is one of them. So basically, whether it's an employer or a business or anything like that, they have what's known as the duty to accommodate. So the duty to accommodate basically says that, hey, you can't do this. You have to find a way to help him. And the only way you don't have to is if you can prove what's called undue hardship. And undue hardship is the train of thought that says, okay, we've tried everything there is, and there's no way that he can do it or no way that he or she can do it. So we have to forego everything and just say undue hardship. Like we're sorry you can't do it, but at the same time, you kind of you, you can't do it is essentially basically the end of the road, right? But anyways, so back to this meeting. So we had the meeting, and I'd ended up getting the results I wanted. I was able to get into automotive class, which I had a lot of fun. Mind you, automotive class, a bunch of teenage kids. Like, yeah, it was a shit show the whole time. It was fun though. I learned a lot of shit that I took to into today's life. But um, oh, I realized I skipped that part of the story. So basically, in dealing with this, getting to the automotive shop, I had made one final threat that I was going to go above their heads and go to the school board. Now, that makes a bigger deal because now you start to make this situation more public, and nobody wanted that. Everyone, we just wanted to settle this like between people. Like we'd never wanted this to be a massive issue. Like, hey, just let me do fucking automotive and I'll be happy. I don't even care if I'm just fucking changing tires or or fucking doing all this other shit, you know. I don't have to do the complex things like welding. I know I can't do that. I know what I can and can't do, so you don't have to fucking tell me, right? And I'll always speak up when there is something that that basically I can or can't do. So, anyways, that was dealt with. I got an auto shop. It was a really good class. Um, yeah, so that was high school. I graduated high school, and then uh, I started applying for jobs, and I never got any really traction on them. So I went to post secondary school, which I studied and took not a degree, but that middle thing, like that 3 year program. So I basically did like a 3 year program for business human resources, which actually leads me into another story. When I was in grade 10, I took a business class, and my teacher, basically at the time, he was a super nice guy. He basically, what happened was, I took the class for like a week, and I was like, yeah, fuck this. Like, I'm never going to run a business. I'm never going to dream of this shit. Like, I don't give a shit about business, whatever. Right. So I, uh, I ended up dropping the class. And then it's funny because when I graduated, I turned around and I went into business human resources. So that was really fun. College was a little different for me too, because most people normally they ship off to college and they're gone, and I stayed home and I did college in my hometown. We had a specialized learning center where you could go and take courses online through the college. So that was really fun. That presented its challenges too, because a lot of the leeways that I was granted within high school were not there for my formal education, for my college and university education, because when they give you a test in college or university, it's you have this amount of time to do it. You fucking do it. You If you miss questions, if you don't finish it, you're fucked. So whereas in high school, I was always granted what was called time and a half. So if it was a 90-minute exam period, I was allowed uh 90 plus 45, 135 minutes to do it, right? Which is just a little over 2 hours. 2 hours and 15 minutes to be precise. So, oh, I hope I got that right. I'd look pretty stupid not getting that right on camera. Um, but, anyways, so they'd given me this extra time to do my exams because my eyes were all fucked up. And when, it, when I'm, because like it's weird, like I'm blind, but I'm not blind at the same time. Like it's weird. I can see things, but details fuck me. Like if I was to pick up a book or a manual, like sometimes I get lost in reading because reading it fucks me up. And I'm like, oh shit, what line was I on? So one of the ways I use to combat that is I'll take something like a ruler or something that's square. And basically what I'll do is I'll run it down the page and then I know what line I'm on. um, the other thing is some of the small writing in the books really fucks me up because that fucks with my eyes. Um, so yeah. So that being said, yeah, I went through college. I did college at home, so I was able to stay in my hometown. And then it was time for me to enter the job market. Well, the job market was shit around here at the time. Now the job market's booming. There's lots of people looking for workers where I am. Um, so yeah, so I went through college. I went through the job market. The job market at the time was crap. So I said, well, fuck it. I'm going to go back to school then. So I decided I turned around and I would go to university. So I ended up going through university. I ended up with a bachelor's degree in history. And, that was pretty fun too. I really enjoyed it. I love my history. Um, well, based off of the last episode, history, right? So we get that full circle moment. So yeah, I did that. And then I started doing stuff with political campaigns. And after hearing the way some of these politicians talk, I backed away from politics. Fuck that. Fuck politics. I got out of it and said, no, I'm just going to go find a different gig, do something that isn't political. So that brings me to my current life, where I am now, the chapter that says this is a garbage guy. I work on the back of a garbage truck, basically throwing in garbage all day. I love the job. My eyes are good enough to do it because I can see the cars coming. The only thing I couldn't tell you about the car, like I can see the car off in the distance coming, but I couldn't tell you what car it was, what color it was, what make, what model, what year. I don't know that shit. I can't see it until it's basically like 20 feet away from me or 10 feet away from me. And I'm like, okay, now I know the make and the model. And even then, I still can't see who's actually driving it. I normally rely on asking someone else. So like if you talk to any of my work colleagues, the most common question I have every day is who's that? Who's that? Who the fuck is that? You know? So yeah. So I can do the job, and I've been doing the job. I've been doing this for just about 6 years now. 6 years I've been in the waste collection service, which I love the job. I wouldn't trade it for anything else. Like they say, if you find a job you're happy with, stick it out. I did try to work in the office because there's an office department at where I work, and I didn't really enjoy that. So I said, no, 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 no. I'm going to go back to my public works job. I prefer being outside. I don't care if it's in -40. I don't care if it's in +40. I don't care if it's raining, snowing, hailing, or lightning. I would much rather be working outside than working cooped up in an office. So I couldn't imagine that lifestyle. Yeah. So yeah, basically that's how that goes. Uh, the job world kind of just fell onto me, I guess. After there was an opening, I applied for it, I interviewed, and the first thing I actually did in my interview when I applied for this job was I said, I want to address the elephant in the room first. I said my eyesight. I said because it's a small town, everybody knows about my eyesight. So I said I want to address the elephant in the room. I would not have applied for the job if I felt I couldn't do it. And I've already done it before. I worked for a private contractor doing it before, working on a garbage truck. So I told them that, and they said, okay, we'll call you back. And then, lucky enough, I got the call back and I started working. And I've been working ever since. I love my job. So, maybe if I say I love my job one more time, maybe I'll actually believe it. But anyways, no, the job is good. Like it's a lot of fun. There are certain things that I have to navigate even within the job with my eyesight. Like the way the garbage truck is. So like if we have the garbage truck that sits here and we'll say this is the back and this is the front. If I'm walking towards either side, I stop and then I look around the truck before I walk out. This way, this is how I don't get flattened by a car. This is how I don't get flattened by a car on the job. So yeah, there's that. My home life is a little different as well. Maintaining a home, especially my family's not around right now. My brother's off doing a job, so he's not around the home, and it's basically just me and my 3 dogs. So, which eventually my dogs will be in the podcast. I think I'm going to pick a day and bring one dog out each time, and because all three they're hard to handle. Whew, crazy little dogs. So yeah, so my home life is a little different. Um, Basically, nothing in my house is modified. Nothing in my house has to be modified for my eyesight. I'm lucky enough that I have enough that I can do basically everything. The only thing that eludes me is sweeping. I can't see the fucking dirt on the floor. I really can't. So luckily they've set something up so someone comes in once every little while and sweeps. I do all the mopping. I'm okay at mopping. I usually just memorize where I mopped, and then that's it. Sweeping, I have to figure something out. I know I could try the same thing, but I end up fucking up and missing dirt all the time. So there's that. Um, yeah. So my home life has been a little different. Having a disability, same old shit. Um, growing up with it, yeah, I exerted a lot of anger, obviously, because I mean, what do you do when you're told no your entire life for certain things? Like I fought a lot. I fought the system a lot, actually, way more than I should have. Um, but yeah, when I was younger, I was angry, frustrated, pissed off because I want to be a truck driver. No, I want to go to space. No, I want to drive a loader. Well, that's a gray area. You technically don't need a license, but you technically need a license. So fucking no. Okay. Well, what the fuck am I gonna do? But then I got lucky and ended up finding a job doing garbage collection, which is I love. So yeah, so that's basically what life was like for with me for a disability. Uh half the times my friends don't even realize it because I push really hard to always try and maintain what I call the normal image, right? The image of I'm not fucked up. I try, but it eludes me a lot of the times. Especially being in big cities, like going into Toronto. Oh, I dislike it. That's why I think I like my small town living because I don't have to worry about 750 fucking cars coming down the road as I'm trying to walk across it. If I'm unlucky enough to step out in front of a vehicle and get hit by a car here in my hometown, I should probably just buy a fucking lottery ticket. Like I've been recording for however long at this time. You could check on the recording, and a car just drove by my house. I just heard it, and so look at timestamp this, and a car just fucking drove by. So if I'm unlucky enough to get hit by a car, uh, it was my fault probably. So yeah, so that's kind of what life was like in a nutshell, I guess. Like it had its struggles, but it turned out for the better. I would not change who I am or who I'm becoming or the things in life that I find valuable or precious. Um, yeah, it perseverance. That's all I could say is perseverance. Just keep going. Just keep going. So yeah, no matter struggles in life, you just keep going, you keep working, you keep doing whatever, and you just push forward. That's all you can really do, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what life was like with a disability for me. Um, there are some funny stories actually, so I'll kind of allude into a couple of funny stories. So I work for a private contractor. We did garbage truck, we did snow shoveling, we did all this other shit, right? Yard clearing sometimes, what have you, bush clearing, right? So my boss at the time, he was colorblind. So he couldn't see colors. I couldn't see fuck all. He couldn't see colors. So we get to a stop at an intersection, right? So we got this intersection and we're stopped and there's this truck off in the distance. It's got flashing lights. I mean, I see the flashing lights. I couldn't really tell at the time, like if it was EMS or just like a public works vehicle with the yellow or whatever. And he looks at me and he says, "Hey, Joey, what color are those lights over there?" I said, "What?" I said, "Oh fuck, I can't see." So I grab my phone out and I zoom in and I'm looking at the lights and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, they're red." Okay, nope, that's a fire engine or whatever the fuck it was. I can't precisely remember, but They were emergency colors. They weren't they weren't yellow or the amber or the blue or whatever. Yeah. So that's just a little story. There's been lots of times like that where shit's happened. You know, like without thinking, we were working in the garage one day, working on just random shit. And he looks at me, he says, "Is it smoky in here?" I said, "The fuck do you mean by that?" He says, "No." He says, "Like smoke." I said, "Oh fuck," And I'm looking down most of the time, so I don't really, not really seeing the thick flume of smoke in the shop. And I look up, oh yeah, I guess it is. Um, yeah. So yeah, there's been lots of good times. There's definitely lots of laughs. I prefer to joke about my disability rather than be all butthurt all the time. Like I know there's some people who are butthurt about everything, and I don't think like that. No, I always make fun of myself. Always do. Always do. Um, Another interesting story is one of our friends was lost out in the woods, and we went out to help find them. And we have one of our friends bugs me all the time. We laugh, and we have another friend who thinks he's really super smart. If you're watching, you are super smart. So, anyways, he makes fun. He tries to throw a joke out there, and it was the funniest fucking thing ever. Like we all just died laughing because he tries to throw the joke out there. He's like, "Joey, do you know how to read Braille?" And I was like, actually, I said, "You don't read Braille, you fucking feel it." And everyone just died laughing. Holy fuck, was that funny? Oh yeah, it. Yeah, you don't read Braille, you fucking feel it. That was my exact response, and everybody just started dying laughing. I said, "Well, it's the truth." I said, "Yeah, technically you're reading Braille, but you're feeling to read it. Like you're not reading Braille." And actually, for people who want to know, I actually do know how to read Braille. So yeah, that's yeah. A lot of shit's happened in life. Like that's just been hilarious. Like if I was to just sit here and talk stories about my past, like fuck, we'd be here forever. So yeah, that's basically what life was like. Um yeah. So next episode, I think we're gonna talk about movies. Movies, I'm pretty sure is the next. I feel stupid because normally I look up the topic before I get into doing this, but I'm pretty sure next episode is movies. And if it isn't, then it's fucking gonna be. So next episode, we're gonna talk movies. Um, so that's gonna be about it for this. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have come across anything in your life that has been a major struggle that you've had to overcome. Let me know if let me know if you know any people with disabilities out there. And for those of you who know me, don't just fucking say me. Okay, come on, come on. That's a low blow. Like at least name someone else. Like you could just not just dish me out the whole time. It'd be fucking be wonderful. No, but let me know if you have any stories where things have happened, or if there's been any, or if you've ever had to overcome something yourself, or you've watched someone else overcome something. uh Life is full of struggles, and it's very joyous when we can get through them, and it's very joyous when we help each other get through them, because being united and being one group of people is the best way forward, because as long as we can all help each other, we can move forward. So that's all for my incoherent babblings today. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. And thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. And next episode, movies. we're going to talk movies. So be prepared about that. So start thinking about some movies, maybe comment some movies that you want to talk about, and maybe we can talk about it. Yeah. So have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you around. Bye for now.